We need to talk, right here, right now. Consider this an intervention. This is not coming from your family, who you may have pushed away. It is not coming from your friends, who you may have been avoiding. This intervention is coming from that quiet, resilient and terrified part of your own soul that knows this has to stop. It is the voice of the person you were meant to be, the one who is tired of the lies, exhausted from the anxiety, and crushed by the weight of the shame. Listen to that voice. It is calling for help. Let's be honest about what has been happening. From the outside, the change has been stark. You have become distant, secretive, a ghost haunting your own life. Your mind is always somewhere else, calculating odds, replaying losses, dreaming of a win that never seems to come. But the real damage is on the inside, in the quiet moments when the distraction of the game fades. It is the frantic heartbeat in the middle of the night, the sickening feeling in your stomach when you check your bank account, the loss of your own self-respect. You have placed thousands of bets. You have bet on horses, on cards, on the roll of a dice, on the outcome of a game you were never a part of. You have bet on chance, on luck, and on a future that was always a mirage, and you have lost. Today, this intervention is here to offer you one final bet, just one more. It is the only bet you have ever been offered that has guaranteed odds of winning. It is a final, all-in wager on the only thing in the universe you can ever truly count on, yourself. Accepting this intervention is the first step. By staying, by listening, by allowing these words to penetrate the defenses you have built, you are signaling your readiness for a change. I ask you now to subscribe to this channel and like this video, not as a gesture for an algorithm, but as a personal commitment to your own rescue mission. It is a quiet, anonymous declaration to yourself that you are here, you are listening, and you are willing to take this one last bet. Let us take it together. The choice before you is the starkest you will ever face. It is a choice between two entirely different paths, two entirely different lives. You can continue down the path of the game, a path that feels familiar, a path that offers the fleeting thrill of hope, but one that is mathematically, spiritually, and emotionally guaranteed to lead you off a cliff. Or you can take a deep breath, turn around, and begin walking the Stoic path, the path of betting on yourself. This is the path to reclaiming your money, and more importantly, reclaiming your mind. Before we can walk that new path, we must acknowledge the truth of the one you are on. We must look back at the wreckage without flinching. The game made you so many promises, didn't it? It promised that the next big win was just around the corner. It promised you an escape from your problems, a shortcut to a life of ease. It promised you a sense of control, a feeling of power in a world where you felt powerless. Every single one of those promises was a lie. Look at the evidence. The game promised you wealth, but it has systematically drained your resources, leaving you with less money and more debt than when you started. It promised you happiness, but it has delivered a constant state of anxiety, stress, and gut-wrenching despair. It promised you freedom, but it has made you a slave to its rhythms, a prisoner to your own impulses. The game is not your friend. It is a predator, and its promises are the bait in its trap. Let us be brutally honest about the financial cost. It is not just the sum total of your losses, as staggering as that may be. It is the lost opportunity. It is the emergency fund you never built. It is the retirement account you never funded. It is the secure future for your family that you have traded for a series of fleeting, empty thrills. The money is not just gone. A future has been stolen, one losing bet at a time. The game doesn't just take your present, it consumes your future. But the financial cost pales in comparison to the cost to your mind. Your mind, your most precious asset, has been hijacked. Your mental space, which should be filled with creativity, with love, with learning, with solving real problems, has been turned into a 24/7 casino. It is a place of frantic calculations, of replaying bad beats, of fantasizing about jackpots. The game has colonized your consciousness, leaving little room for the things that make life worth living. This is not because you are unlucky. This is not because you haven't found the right system. This intervention is here to tell you a fundamental truth. The game is rigged against you, not in a conspiratorial way, but in a cold, hard, mathematical way. Every game in the casino, every odd offered by the bookmaker has a built-in house edge. The laws of probability are an invisible current, always pulling you out to the sea of financial ruin. You cannot beat the math. To continue to play is to fight a war you are guaranteed to lose. And so, here we are. This intervention is happening because you have reached a critical moment. You may feel like you have hit rock bottom. You may feel broken, hopeless, and ashamed. But the Stoics would tell you that this moment is not an end. It is a beginning. A solid foundation can only be built on firm, hard ground. Hitting bottom is the act of finally reaching that ground. This is not the end of your story. This is the end of the preface. The first chapter of your new life starts now. So what does it mean to place a final bet on yourself? It is the most profound shift in perspective you can possibly make. It means you stop investing your hope, your energy, and your resources in external, uncontrollable events. You stop betting on the turn of a card or the bounce of a ball. Instead, you turn all of that hope, all of that energy, and all of those resources inward. You begin to invest with everything you have in your own character, your own recovery, your own mind. The first step in this bet, the first chips you place on the table, must be an all-in wager on radical honesty. The sickness of addiction thrives in the darkness of secrets and lies. To heal, you must drag it into the light. This means, first, being completely honest with yourself. No more excuses, no more rationalizations. You must name the problem for what it is. Then you must find one person, a spouse, a family member, a therapist, a support group, and you must tell them the entire truth. This act is terrifying, but it is the indispensable first step. Honesty breaks the terrible isolation that the addiction needs to survive. It enlists allies in your fight. It holds you accountable. Every lie you have told has been a bet on the game, a bet that you could keep the illusion going. Your first act of betting on yourself is to tell the truth. It is the first deposit you will make into your newly reclaimed account of personal integrity. The second step is to cut your losses. This is a fundamental principle of both rational investing and of Stoic wisdom. The money you have lost is gone. It is a sunk cost. It exists only in the past. The single most powerful lie that the game uses to keep you hooked is the idea that you can win it back. This is the logic that has dragged you deeper into the hole. To bet on yourself means to abandon this fantasy completely. You must, as an act of profound courage, forgive yourself for the past and accept the losses as the price of your education. Your focus must shift 100% from the past to the future. Every dollar you earn from this day forward is for building your new life, not for trying to patch the wounds of the old one. To chase your losses is to continue betting on the game. To accept them and move on is the ultimate act of betting on your own future. I want you to take this step with me right now. In the privacy of your own mind, think of the number, the loss that haunts you, the one you are still trying to win back. Now take a deep breath, and as you exhale, I want you to say, I let you go. If you are brave enough, write, I am letting it go, in the comments below. This is not just a comment. It is a ritual. It is a declaration of your freedom from the chains of the past. It is your first bet on the future. The third step is to actively invest in your mind. For months or years, you have been spending your money on lottery tickets and betting slips, which are worthless pieces of paper. Now you must redirect those funds to assets with guaranteed returns. You must invest in your own recovery. This means buying books on stoicism, on addiction, on psychology. It means seeking professional help, like therapy or counseling. It means using your resources to build your inner citadel. Every dollar spent on a book that strengthens your mind, every hour spent in a support group that strengthens your resolve, is a bet on yourself. You are no longer throwing your resources into a black hole of negative expected value. You are investing in the one asset that no one can ever take from you, and that will pay you dividends for the rest of your life. A strong, disciplined, and peaceful mind. This is the most profitable investment you will ever make. The fourth step is to rebalance your life portfolio. The game has caused you to go all in on one incredibly risky, toxic asset. Now, you must diversify. Your new portfolio will consist of assets that are guaranteed to grow with steady investment. These assets are your physical health, your relationships with your family and friends, your skills and your career, and your personal integrity. Every hour that you are not gambling is an hour you can now invest in these assets. You can go for a walk. You can have a real conversation with your spouse. You can learn a new skill for your job. You can read to your children. These are the deposits that build a life of real, tangible wealth. This is the work of shifting your focus from the frantic, desperate chase for a jackpot to the calm, steady, and deeply satisfying work of building a good life. The fifth and final step is to learn to trust the compound interest of character. The bet on yourself is not a short-term gamble. It is a long-term investment. Every small, positive, disciplined, and honest choice you make starting today is a small deposit. On its own, it may not seem like much. But these choices, compounded over weeks, months, and years, will build a character and a life of such immense strength and value that it will astound you. This is the real, reliable path to wealth. Not the chaotic, unpredictable path of the game, but the steady, quiet, and guaranteed path of self-improvement. The game offers you the illusion of a shortcut, but it is actually the longest and most painful road to ruin. The Stoic path of betting on yourself seems slow, but it is the most direct and certain path to a life of peace, prosperity, and self-respect. And what is the payout from this final singular bet? First, you reclaim your mind. The frantic, obsessive noise of the casino in your head is replaced by a quiet stillness. You regain the ability to be present with your loved ones. You can focus on your work. You can enjoy a simple moment of peace without the nagging urge to check the score or place a bet. This mental freedom is the first and greatest jackpot you will win. And then, as a direct consequence of your reclaimed mind, you begin to reclaim your money. When the constant, massive financial drain of the game is plugged, your resources have nowhere to go but in the right direction. You start to pay down your debts. You begin to build your savings. You start to invest in a real future, in assets that actually grow over time. Financial order is the natural and inevitable consequence of a newly ordered mind. And in the end, you will see who the real winner is. It is not the faceless house. It is not the 1 in a billion lottery winner. The real winner is you, the person who had the courage to intervene in their own life, the person who chose to stop betting on a rigged game and placed one final courageous bet on themselves. You have not won a prize. You have won your life back. This is a victory that no bad beat can ever take away, a triumph that will echo for the rest of your days. The intervention is now over. The choice is yours. The game, with all its flashing lights and false promises, will always be there, waiting to pull you back in. But a new path, the path of self-reliance and true hope, is also now open before you. You have all the information you need. You can continue to place losing bets on the game, or you can take all of your hope, all of your courage, and all of your future, and place one final bet. A bet on you. What is your decision?